In this video, I'm going to explain to you how to hook up can lights in a ceiling that doesn't have any attic above it, coming up next. Hey everybody, Rudy here from the Home Improvement Channel with another video to help you fix things around the house. In today's video, I'm going to be installing this kind of a light. This is an old work light that we're going to use to put in the drywall because there's no attic above the ceiling, and I'm going to show you how to drill through the joist and run the wires and get everything done. Alright, let's get right into it. Okay, so the very first thing you should do on this project is find out where's the power going to come from. In this case, I have a switch here. Obviously, you're not going to have the drywall cut out like this. I just happen to have this cut out for another reason. Not to do the lights, but it just needed to be cut out. If you don't have a switch in the room, if there was never any lights in the room, you can tap the power for the switch off of a plug and then keep it in the same line as the 2x4 that the plug is mounted to, and just mount a switch up here. Okay, so you got to have a switch, a power source, otherwise the whole project, you can forget it. It's not going to work. Okay, if you do have a switch, you're probably going to have to pull the switch out, and you can do it with the drywall intact. What I usually do is I take a screwdriver, and you can see where the stud is going to be at, and jam that screwdriver in there and pull the switch box out just a little bit. And then if you can take a Sawzall and cut these two nails off, okay? You'll have to undo all the wires inside the switch. Of course, shut the power off is a good way to do that, because you're going to have to remove this out of here. If it just won't come out, you can take a buzz tool like this, if you have one, and cut the box out. I've had to do that a few times on ones that are just stubborn as can be, that don't want to come out of the wall. But most of the time you can get them out. Careful not to cut the wires any shorter, otherwise they won't reach. All right, and then when you put it back, use a box like this that has the wings behind it so that you can put it back in the drywall without wrecking the drywall around the switch. Next thing is how are you going to get the wire up through the wall into the ceiling? A lot of times you guys have crown. I've ran into this a lot. You'll have to pull down that whole piece of crown so that you don't have to cut it, or you can cut it if you want to, but I prefer to pull the whole thing down. That way you don't have an extra seam. And you can cut a square here where the stud is at, and then stop the square right at the edge of the crown, and then come back. 9 times out of 10, there's going to be a hole that's already drilled in the top of the wall that you can fit another wire through. If there isn't, you'll have to cut a bigger hole so that you can get a drill in there and drill yourself a hole. There's just no other way to do it. Okay, the next thing you're going to want to do is determine where you're going to want to put your lights at. That's the next big thing. You have to determine where the floor joists are at so that you don't try to cut a circle out and there's a floor joist right underneath of it. So take a stud finder and find where the studs are at on both sides of the light. Okay, here's one here and here's one here. Mark both sides. Okay, then you know it's fairly good chance it's going to be empty in the middle. Now you might run into a situation where you're going to have an air conditioning duct right in the way, and if that happens, then you're just going to have to move the light and patch the hole, and there's nothing else you can do. But once you do that, if you do need to be close to a floor joist, make sure you measure from the edge of the floor joist at least 4 inches over to mark the center of the light. That'll give you an inch of clearance next to the floor joist, so that you got a 6-inch light, 3 inches is half of it. Okay? So after you're happy with all the whole lights positions and there's no interruptions with the floor joist or any of that stuff, you're going to want to be able to get the wires to it, of course. So you're going to have to cut holes in the ceiling. So hopefully you guys can patch drywall. I'm going to do a video here in a little while on how to patch these holes back, but I'm not going to cover that in this video. But you're going to want to mark the floor joists again all the way down where the lights are at, and also how to get back to the wire that's coming out of the switch. Okay? Mark the floor joists and then cut these holes. Make them long rather than wide, because you're going to need a long bit like this to get up in there like this and drill a hole through the joist. When you do that, make sure you leave at least 2 inches above the bottom of the floor joist so you don't weaken the floor joist. All right? Once you get all your holes cut, you can pull the wire through each one. Now, there is something that you have to be cautious of. A lot of times, there's wires stapled to the other side of the floor joist that you can't see. So when you cut this, you can look back here and make sure it's clear, because otherwise you might drill right into a wire or a pipe or something like that, so you got to watch for that. And when you're cutting these out, I like to use a buzz tool like this. These work great. If you don't have one, then you can use just a regular drywall saw, and that's going to work fine too. Not as convenient. All right, let's go ahead and cut out a light, and then I'll show you how to put one in. Alright, now that we got our hole cut out, let's just prepare the light a little bit down here on a bench while we can get to it real good. Let's pull the cover off and take the instructions and throw them. And depending on whether or not you have 1 or 2 wires coming into the light, like it's going to be jumping to the next light, you'll have 2 wires and whatnot. Just take a screwdriver and pop these little metal covers out of here. And then you're going to want to use a grommet like this so that you don't want to feed the wire directly through this hole, because it's going to cut the wire eventually. So just pop that in the hole. And a lot of times those wires like to fit real tight, so I take a screwdriver and I open the little fingers up just a little bit, just to give them a little extra room so that you don't have to kill the wire to get it in there. Well, next thing, just feed the wire in there. In this case, I'm only using 1 wire in this light because it's the last one in the run. Yeah, just peel the wire and keep that knife in the center of the wire. And watch that don't slip off of there and get your fingers, because I've had that happen before. And peel it like a banana. That's it. 12 gauge wire, so I'm using my wire strippers to put it on 12 gauge, and they just peel right off. The only disadvantage to doing this way is you can't get up in the ceiling to staple the wires down to the floor joist. So you just have to know that ahead of time. It's not a big deal. If you have to have them stapled, then tear the drywall down. But if you don't want to tear the drywall down, then you're just going to have to accept that. I like these halo lights. They come with these push-on connectors. Makes it real simple. Alright guys, that's about it. If you have any questions, comment below. And subscribe to my channel. I come out with videos like this as often as I can. Thanks for watching.